What's going on, everybody? It's Tuesday night. Time to talk some football. It's your boy, Loudmouth of the South, confirmed title holder, Loudmouth of the South, SAJ, coming to you live from Po Folks Restaurant.
You've done that one already, but I'll still allow it because that was a really good place.
Thank you.
What's up, everybody? I'm BD. Today I'm coming at you from the Builder Square Studios. It is a great day today, Jay.
Why is it a great day today?
It's a great day, dude. The sun is shining, or the sun was shining. The birds were singing, and the Cowboys have fixed their running back problem.
Did they?
Yeah, absolutely. By a washed-up 30-plus-year-old that they bounced off their team last year. You got to be kidding me.
Wow, dude. Wow.
Okay. I joke, but
no, you don't.
No, I don't. But I'm okay with bringing Zeke back. I wanted them to bring Zeke back last year after they released him, restructure his deal, give him less money because he wasn't worth the $15 million or whatever he was making, But he was a very good comparable, back to Pollard. I said it many times, kind of like the old school early 2000s where they had the Julius Jones, Marion Barber kind of, pounded guy and then the quick guy. They worked good together. What I hate about it is they brought Zeke back. And who else have they brought in? We got Uncle Rico and we got Deuce. Comparable backs, but neither one of those are going to be your number one guy. And Zeke sure as hell ain't going to be the number one guy this late in his career. So, it's what we got, whatever. But and the whole thing was like, oh, he was going to wait for the contract until he passes physical. I don't care if he passes his physical. I don't need him to be in shape. You know what? The fatter he is, the better, because I don't need him to go for 150 yards a game or bust out these 30-yard runs. I need to get him to 1 or 2 hard yards. That's it.
Well, and a fatter boy would be able to get those.
Exactly. You know what? I could probably get a yard or 2 if needed. Maybe not. But you know what?
Put a cheeseburger in the end zone, and that might be motivation.
Put some tacos in the end zone. I'm there.
Yeah, I was honestly just as surprised to see that happen as you were, man. When I saw the headlines, I was talking to a mutual friend of ours, and you could just see the defeat on his face. There was
I'm not upset at the deal. Like I think Zeke has a spot on this team. I'm upset that that's the only running back they've gone after this offseason.
Yeah. And
didn't draft anybody, didn't pick one of the 5 fantastic running backs that were available in free agent. Apparently didn't even call Derrick Henry, so.
No. And our friend XFL Mike G actually pointed it out and sent a very seasoned video.
Yeah, I saw it. Yep.
And so there's a lot of not happy Cowboy fans, and I get it. I mean, maybe they're getting Zeke for like a ridiculous veteran.
With max bonuses and all that stuff, it comes out to $3 million a year, or $3 million this year. So as I said, it's not a bad deal. He's got a spot on this team. He just needs a number one back that he can be the third down guy, the hard 2 yards to get. That's what we need him for. But we need a number one. We don't have that. So
yeah, he needs a number 1 and a number 2 and potentially a number 3 back, and then he's got a spot. Is what you're saying. But overall, right? Very, very wild weekend this weekend. NFL draft just happened last Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I believe Sunday.
Yeah.
There was a lot of first of all, 6 quarterbacks taken in the top 12 picks, they said.
Top 12, 13, something like that.
Yeah, and that's very rare that has ever. In fact, I don't think that's happened
most ever.
Right.
I was real surprised that there were that many quarterbacks taken.
Yeah. I will say the Packers made some very interesting moves. Picked up some pretty decent picks. They also picked up some odd picks that didn't really make a lot of sense, but there's only like 2 of those. Like there's a running back we picked up, and then a lineman, a defensive lineman, I think it was, where you're kind of like, I mean, there was better and we picked this cat, so maybe Thompson sees something that we don't see as fans. But for the most part, they bulked up the offensive line. They backed up or the corners and safeties, right? And these are more investments for long term, right? So we've got some cats that can kind of get the job done now, but they're definitely looking to make those positions more solid in the future. Cowboys did okay in the draft, I would say.
I don't hate it. I'll give them a B. Obviously, picked up a couple offensive linemen. Needed that. Obviously, with the number one pick, and then I think fifth or sixth round they got another lineman. Picked up a couple defensive linemen. Picked up an edge rusher, linebacker, cornerback, and a wide receiver. Of course, no running backs.
Yep.
Would have liked them to gotten a young one. And no quarterbacks. Would have liked them to got a young one of those too.
Yep.
But didn't happen.
But that's what the free agency market is for. Oh wait,
You mean the one that's been going on for like the last month and a half that we haven't done a damn thing in? Yeah.
yeah. But it's Uncle Jura. He'll figure it out.
No, he's all in. I don't know what you're talking about, Jay. He's all in.
He won't. Yeah, he's all in the insane asylum. I swear. I just imagine him sitting in his office at the AT&T Stadium, right? Like Dr. Evil with the whole just
they show
laughing.
they show it every year, the comparison of like the Cowboys war room, and then you've got Dr. Evil's lair, and it fits perfectly. So
Yes, dude.
I don't hate it, but
Yes. It hurts as a fan. I get it.
does.
I get it.
Like, yeah, you're right.
But on the same token,
You know what? I look at that the exact same way the Arlington fans look back at me when I, all the paper and stuff was blown on the field. I said, get that trash off the field. And I don't mean the Renegades. They look back, they're like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that game was bad. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But first of all, we definitely want to, extend a warm, hearty welcome to our Fuel Network friends that are joining us tonight. Definitely, you've got Jersey in the house right here. And what's going on, Jersey? Horns forward, baby. Texas represent. And of course, you got Dirty Toro, talking this smack about Zeke, and I love that. But yeah, 100%. Lot going on this weekend. There was so much football, and we obviously went to Arlington and cheered on our Brahmas to victory. That was a fun game to watch. I'm not gonna lie. We made some mistakes on offense. Our friend the Mariachi Brahma absolutely does not like this bend but don't break defense, because he's right. I mean, we need to make a stand. We let them get too close.
Yeah, eventually. I mean, we saw it against St. Louis. Bend but don't break eventually breaks when you face the really, really good teams. And in this league right now, we're talking about the Stallions and the Battle Chickens. Those are the two really good teams, and we saw what happened. When we played St. Louis the first time, and the bend but don't break was breaking all game long.
Yeah.
So
so we definitely need to tighten up some positions there. We need to do some coverage. I don't like the fact that we gave up 3 picks, one of which was on Dormady, 2 of which were on the receivers.
And really, I mean, it could have been one more for sure, because I mean the ball like barely hit the ground. I think they and then there was another one that was potential. And like all of those just went through the receiver's hands. It's just it was kind of a sloppy game. We're lucky to come out of it with a win. I know we talked last week that Arlington being an 0-4 team, wanting to come and be the spoiler, especially kind of hearing AJ talk over the week that this is the game he had circled on his calendar because he wanted revenge on him for them beating Houston in the playoffs last week.
What's up, Adrian?
Arlington's hearing that. They're like, well, we really want to mess up his Super Bowl, the game he had circled. Yeah, we want to play spoilers. So, I mean, we're honestly lucky to come out of that game with a win. I mean, 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions, and just sloppy in the second half. Again, another third quarter with no points. And yeah, we got the win. I don't want to poo-poo on a win, but
Yeah.
But again,
Yep.
we kind of talked about it this whole time. Like, defense needs to tackle better. Defense needs to make stops when they need it. Offense needs to be a little more efficient. They need to stop slowing down. We were running the ball down their throats, and then we decided, hey, we might just start passing a little bit. So,
yeah. So we definitely have some work to do, especially this week, because we're going into a very, very dangerous game in DC.
in a tough place.
Yes, it's going to be a
In
tough place.
A team that is on the brinks of either getting it together and making a run or falling off. So
Right. So they're going to be dangerous. It's going to be a very, very scary game to play. First and foremost, we've got to tighten up that defense. The bend but don't break. We've got to start making solid stands and really holding them down to 3 and outs and things like that. Secondly, we need to be able to convert on interception opportunities. Right, we had 2 for a fact that we saw this week. That
one would have been an absolute pick six.
Yep. And what happened? Our guys dropped the ball. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the fact that we can break up a play. That's important, right? But if you're breaking up 2 plays and then giving up 10 yards, that's probably not the best defensive strategy, right? You've got to be able to hold them to 3 and out, plain and simple.
Yeah.
Or get those picks, turn them into points. So we've got to work on that, especially with Tamu.
Like DC, yeah.
Yeah, with Tamu and his struggles lately, his accuracy's been off a little bit. He's been giving up a lot more interceptions than what he normally does. So we have got to capitalize on that. We've got to crush that opportunity, like when we get it. And then Dormady's got to get the ball in his receivers' hands. His receivers do have to make some moves to reposition themselves just in case the pass isn't exactly the greatest pass, because we saw a lot of that too, where some of them were a little bit off target and could have been caught. And instead, they're trying to catch the ball like this, right? Instead of like that. We've seen how that goes. So it's just been rough. Yeah, it's just it was a great game overall. Definitely, first of all, we got to meet DeMarcus Colors, right? Who's a member of the AFN network, which absolutely love the AFN network. Got to hang out with Mike G. He got to actually see us.
He got to sit with us. He
got to sit with us and see us.
What it was like to sit with us. Now he still needs to come to 134, get the full effect of us. But
oh, poor Mikey would need earplugs and everything, man, and probably like 10 different, 10 servings of ibuprofen, because we do get a little bit loud. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I mean, overall it was a fun game. Here's the best part, right? So we've talked about unity for forever now, right? We have such a great relationship with the Banditos fan base in Arlington, that Marco himself, the one of the organizers, kind of like the head dude of the Banditos fan club, he decided this season to start the 35 rivalry, right? Created its own custom hat. Speaking of hats, real quick, right? Awesome, incredible hat made by Val, right? This thing is absolute choice, man. You guys have known that, Brian and I had some last year. They were made from recycled. Well, I say recycled, just reused beer cartons. Incredible thing to do, but they just weren't that sturdy. They didn't last very long. We managed to make them last a season, and they should have lasted only about a game or two.
I got mine sitting up there.
Yeah, see. But these hats are much nicer. So Val did another one for the I-35 rivalry, and it's got the Brahmas on one side, and it's got the Renegades on the other, and the I-35 logo. And so Marco issued the challenge, right? This interstate rivalry. Whoever wins this game wins this hat. And Marco was wearing it before the game and everything. By the way, I've got Marco. Marco gave me that towel specifically behind us. So definitely thank you for that. But we won the game. Marco held true to his word, and he issued the hat to 210 Bramasita. And that's where it resides now. Yeah, see if you can pull it up.
Yeah.
If you can find the video, even better.
Here's the hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's got the Renegades logo on the left side. It's got the Brahmas on the other. And this other hat is another one that Val made for Jackie's husband. But
yeah, specifically for him, which it's even better than mine.
But yeah, so
So,
that's the I-35 rivalry trophy hat right there, and it's we won the game, so we brought it home with us, and we're not winning the next one, so we're going to keep it here as well. So,
yep,
at least for this calendar year, this season, it's gonna stay home in San Antonio.
it is. It is. But again, we had a great game.
Yeah, great game, and I mean, hats off to the Banditos. I mean, they took good care of us as always. They did last time we were up there.
Yep.
Fed
And
us
even
good. We had plenty to drink. Had some lovely, shots that tasted like chocolate cake.
oh
Were
my God, those things
fantastic.
were so good.
You
Oh,
know,
they were
it's
fantastic.
absolute. Just had a wonderful time, and I mean, can't say more about just how great the Banditos treated us. So
Yeah. So, but again, great football weekend. Birmingham, obviously, I mean, and much love to our Houston fans. They're definitely trying to stick it in there, kind of in the same boat as Arlington. But they wound up losing 32-9.
yeah,
And it was bad. It was a beating of a game. And Birmingham's on fire, man. They're 5-0.
yeah.
Pretty much unstoppable. So somebody like us or St. Louis or somebody's going to have to put the smack down on them and
Well,
get them
to
back
be
in
fair,
line.
I mean DC's the only team that has a winning record that they played. They play
True.
they play in the USFL conference. So I mean, Houston's not a good team. Memphis is not a good team. Michigan's not really a good team. And Arlington, who's not a good team. That's who they play other than DC.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously Birmingham is beating who they're playing. So you got to give them credit for that. But I do think the talent of the teams that they're playing is not, they haven't played us. They haven't played St. Louis, basically. So
right.
We'll
They
see. Those will be the true test of one, how good Birmingham is, and also how good us and St. Louis are.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. So speaking of DC and St. Louis, they played this weekend, and
DC played for 3/4 of that game.
Yeah, let me finish. Right, but Brian is right. 100%. DC was there for about 3/4, and then I guess they were like, "Nah, we're done. We just checked out."
That's enough.
Yeah, it was hard. It was very hard to watch. I remember watching this game, driving back from Arlington, and that third quarter was just like that's where everything just kind of died, and it was just so painful to watch that fourth quarter that even I shut it off.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just miserable. And then of course Michigan and Memphis. Poor Memphis, man. I mean, their fan base, not only are they losing games, they're losing fans too. And our new friend Jeremy that we made over there, he's the guy that's in the full uniform that probably should be playing. I mean, at this point, he's about one of the only ones that's playing with heart out there.
Yeah.
It seems like. But they just can't seem to figure it out. And I would like to know what happened to Memphis, man. The Memphis team we played is not the Memphis team. It's like we played them, we got that come from behind win, and then we broke them.
Yeah.
And that was it. They have
Unfortunately,
not showed up since.
Man, it's just, yeah. I think a lot of people expected a lot more from them this season. They were one of the dark horses, that. Yeah, they weren't one of the sexy picks, but they were one of those sneaky good teams. And
yeah,
just after our game, they've kind of gone downhill. And which sucks. I like them. I like the fan base. They're great. And I like that team too. Like they're a cool team, a fun team to root for. Really liked them to turn around and kind of make a solid run, get in the playoffs and stuff. So
I would absolutely love to see that, man. Just if nothing else for their fan base, just to get people back in the game.
Yeah.
It was a wild football weekend in the UFL, and so we wound up going 3-1 on our picks. You said?
Yeah, we both did. We both went 3-1. I picked DC to win, and you picked Memphis to win. So
yeah, so we're a little bit off there, but I mean it's always a guessing game. So going into this next week, let me look at the full schedule so we can see exactly what we've got going on. Obviously, Stallions are taking on the Showboats, and then Roughnecks are going against St. Louis in St. Louis. Arlington is going against Michigan, and then we're taking on the Defenders in DC.
Yep.
That's going to be some pretty rough games, I think. I of course think San Antonio and DC is going to be a close game. I do think that San Antonio is going to pull out that win. Renegades and Michigan. I mean, Michigan has a 3-2 record right now, and they're playing at home. So I'd have to pick. Birmingham, St. Louis, Michigan, and San Antonio for my picks this week.
I'm going the same. I want to pick Arlington. I want them to get their first win. I don't know.
You know what? I'm going to change that pick. I'm going to give Arlington some love. I believe that seeing the brokenheartedness of their fans may actually break that stone cold heart of Luis Perez, and he's going to go out there and win one for him. I think it's going to happen this Sunday. There you go. Mark it down.
He's not losing them for him either. I know we kind of had this little chat in one of our other chats. Perez is having a great season. He's leading the league in passing. He's got 1,100 yards. He's not throwing picks. He's not getting any help. And so, it's not him that needs to step up. It's the defense. The defense has to make a stop. Running backs need to they don't need to run 190 yards a game like what we did, but give him 80, give him something, But yeah, he needs some help. I really want to pick Arlington. I'm going to pick Michigan, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. So I hope you go 4-0 this week.
Yes, I hope so. And then real quick, we're going to be referencing some stuff from our friends over at Pro Arena Talk tonight. Guys, thank you so much for everything that you do for the sport of arena football, all the different games, all the different leagues, all the 10,000 different leagues that you guys cover. There was absolute craziness in the in Arena League this weekend. But let's start with the IFL, right? The one game that we care about the most was San Antonio Gunslingers at Frisco Fighters. That happened the Friday night before our game in Frisco.
Yep.
And man, what a game.
Oh, that's so much fun to watch.
A game.
I wish we would have made the trip up there and kind of done done both of them. I know that's what, XFL Mike G and RJ from the Brahma Bulletin did. Man, you know what? That would have been a fun game to go to. I wish we could have done that. But it was such a fun game to watch, and it was neck and neck the whole time. Like scores kept changing and leads kept changing, and they
I'm assuming you know that guy.
No.
Okay, and that's okay because
that's all right.
Both San Antonio teams won this weekend. That's what I'm going to say. And they're going to win this next weekend too.
Yeah. Watching the Gunslingers, obviously, they didn't get to stop the entire game until the last two series that Frisco had. Well, I guess they got to stop at the halftime, but it was because it was halftime. And so whatever, that doesn't really count.
Right.
But those last two, especially that interception to end the game, was glorious.
That was absolutely perfect. That was the nail in the coffin.
Such a fantastic ending, man.
Yep. What's up, Bobby? We just mentioned you guys. Pro Arena Talk. What's going on, buddy? But yeah, that it's the nerd. Now you got me wondering. I'm sure I know who it is, but without your profile picture, because I have to associate faces with names. That's how I remember people, is by faces. But anyways, let's get back on football. Back
on football.
Yeah, not memory road here. Again, this game was absolutely. Oh yeah. Okay, I got you. I know who you are now. Okay. What's up, buddy?
Oh, geez.
See, I've got to have a frame of reference, or I'm not going to remember anything.
Back on track.
Scroll. Anyways,
who was shining?
that was an incredible game, and we're going to do it again this next weekend.
They're
going to be playing
They're
back
coming
here
home
in San Antonio. Same game at the Freeman Coliseum. Hang on, I clicked on the wrong link, and now I just opened up YouTube for a game that hasn't even been played yet. They're going to be playing Saturday, May 4th, 1:05 p.m. Now, unfortunately, I will not be able to be here for that game because I will be traveling to the District of Columbia to see all the villainy and scum in that hive of a cesspool. But we're going to watch our Brahmas play too, so it'll be great. So Brian, if you're available, actually, no, you've got something else planned. You've got something else planned. Okay, so don't worry about the game.
Hey, babe, you want to go to a Gunslingers game for our anniversary?
Your wife would absolutely kill you. I'm surprised she even went with you to Arlington.
You know what? She had a blast. So
yeah, okay. But yeah, so make sure you're tuning into that game because that's going to be another dogfight, right? Because Frisco's going to want to avenge themselves and avenge that loss. They're not going to be happy at all with that. Now, Bobby, if you can fill in some information, I would love to know. But kicking over to the AIF, looks like Corpus Christi had a game scheduled against Venom, and it did not happen. Now, I don't know if that's the one that you and Sammy were talking to in the chat, or talking about in the chat or not. But I guess apparently at some point in time, Corpus Christi Tritons had discovered that there was a problem with the field conditions, and in the interest of player safety, they decided to cancel the game. Right? I think that's absolutely incredible. I think that's super smart.
That was the one, their first game against Mississippi or whatever. But
I Mississippi.
Don't know if it was happening in the chat, I missed that. Or I missed that news as well.
Yeah, Bob. Sammy said something about it in the chat. Okay. Again, player safety, extremely, extremely important.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
Now, let's go over to our friends over in the AFL and talk about maybe not player safety, right? It looks like Philadelphia Soul was supposed to play the Louisiana Voodoo, which is New Orleans Voodoo. Oh, hey, what's up, Vanessa? Let's go. I'm not going to say that word, but yeah, good luck, purple and gold. New Orleans, Louisiana was supposed to play Philadelphia Soul in St. Charles, and whole fiasco. It looks like all kinds of stuff. There were scheduling issues, stuff that was supposed to be on the NFL Network that didn't actually come through.
That wasn't just the Soul Voodoo game. That was like the whole weekend.
Right, and I was getting to that. So it looks like it also the drama went even further with that, with the AFL, that Philadelphia Soul basically got kicked out of their Super 8 hotel room that they were staying at, and all of their belongings were locked inside. Okay. And then the AFL, I guess, because ownership has backed out of the Philadelphia Soul, I believe, what we were saying, or what we were seeing.
That's kind of what I had read. Like the last second, the Soul ownership group just said nope, and kind of let the league field a team. Just pull people from wherever they can, the AAFL2, and just whoever they could to get a team, to play under the Philadelphia Soul banner.
Right. Now, it looks like it wound up being a Dallas team, or primarily a Dallas team, with a bunch of players that have never played together. And it was just not good. It was not good. It wasn't good for the brand. It wasn't good for the players. They played the AAL2's Dallas Falcons with some extra players. And they wound up losing that game 53-18. So Louisiana won that game. It was just not good at all. And from what I'm to understand, it was even just hard to watch. Yeah. So just some absolute craziness there. And then, I sent Brian this link earlier, but I forgot to bring it up, so I've got to bring it up on my phone. The San Diego Strike Force and the San Diego Strike Force,
Cedar Rapids, wasn't it?
Bay Area Panthers.
Bay Area.
So back in the IFL, they oh, look this right here, Bobby. The owner is now the head coach of the team. Like, what is that? Okay. But then going back to again the Strike Force and Bay Area Panthers game, apparently there was a scuffle that happened in the stands between opposing players, family members, and the players wound up jumping into the stands and getting involved.
Yep.
And
five players jumped into the stands.
Yep. 5 players jumped into the stands. 5 players were ejected. Okay.
Yep.
And the worst part, though, is that only a few of the fans that started all of that, or that were involved in it, I can't even say that they necessarily started it. They were just involved. There's only a few of them that actually got kicked out. So there's people that were fighting in the stands that didn't even get kicked out. Now, here's the point of all this. I'm going to bring it all together, right? Regardless of what level they're at, these are paid professional athletes. And they need to be treated as such. Their safety needs to be the utmost concern. So whether you're playing arena ball in an AAL2, like, tier 2, tier 3, situation, or you're playing up in the pros, right? The equipment has to be right. The field has to be right. All the safety equipment needs to be there and needs to be fastened to the walls properly. Unlike, the New Orleans, where the boards are falling off the walls while players are trying to play. You're asking your fans to hold the field up. These things are absolutely ridiculous. And I can understand getting heated and being passionate. Obviously, I mean, we do it every week in the UFL games. It doesn't matter if we're home or away, right? We're very passionate. We're very fired up, and we talk a lot of smack. But under no uncertain terms are we going to sit and trade blows with other people, especially not in a stadium. I mean, you can get really messed up doing that. And we're not going to fight players either, right? Now, we may get some mad enough to want to fight us and stuff, but we're not stupid, okay? Again, it's about the safety of the athletes. These guys are paid professionals, and they need to be taken care of. So it doesn't matter what level.
They're people. They have families. They have, parents, wives, kids, that want to see them, healthy. I know we saw, we at the game, the Arlington game, we saw the player, and I can't remember his name either. I'm looking for it.
Yeah, I believe it was an offensive lineman.
Yeah,
no, it was a defensive lineman, wasn't it?
Man, I don't remember. I think it was a defensive player.
Yeah, it was I believe it was a defensive player, neck injury.
Yeah,
went down.
You don't want to see that, and that was on a regular field. That wasn't in an arena game that's got the pads that are falling off the boards, or it's got whatever we heard about one of the other games there. The padding was just a couple inches, and you had like steel beams on those. You're asking for something very, very bad to happen when you just kind of when you ignore these basic safety precautions. This should be in your league. First thing you had to say, hey, I want to have a team. Okay, do you have a field that they're not gonna trip over or like fall or whatever? Talking to you, Mississippi, and I mean even the Gunslingers 3 years ago when they were in the AAL. You have boards, padding on the walls that these players smash into, several times a game, like
and at speed.
Basic, like that's right up there with having a freaking Gatorade bucket full of Gatorade. Like that's bare minimum for safety for these players.
Yeah. So if you're going to try and host any kind of an athletic event, make sure that you're focused on the player's safety, right? If you're the owner of a team, such as I can't remember the name of the guy, but the guy that owns the Gunslingers, right? Or
John
you know,
John Wayne Plumbing.
well, it's
Bert,
John Wayne Plumbing, but
yeah,
there's
it's
a
Bert
guy.
Ragnar.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right. If you're Bert, make sure you're taking care of the equipment. Right. If you see a
And
problem,
he has. We're talking about old Gunslingers membership back before they were in the NAL and all that.
right.
So
Well, and even then, right? They put up the plastic barricades, the ones that you fill with water and stuff, inside of the rodeo arena, and then put pads over them and affix them to those barricades. Right. So they were not going anywhere, and the players were not going to get hurt. The field conditions, maybe a little bit dicey, but the one thing I never saw was people out there walking around in torn uniforms or, broken up pads, no duct tape on helmets or anything like that. Right. So again, we're not saying that San Antonio has done that. We're just using them as an example that if you're going to own a team, make sure
the first couple games of their first year in the league, the field looked kind of rough. It did not look as bad as the Mississippi field. But hey, they ended up getting a new one, midway through the season. So,
and then I can't remember who it was last year, but one of the ones was it last year, year before. One of the ones that BD and I were laughing and loving was the LA Kiss field.
Oh yeah, no, that was the first year. That was the field that they replaced the first couple games with in the rodeo arena.
Yeah,
there was the old LA Kiss field. You could just kind of see where they kind of covered up the logo, but you could still make out what it was. It was cool.
Well, you couldn't miss it because it was a triangular shaped patch on the field, looked like a guitar pick, and then if you look close enough, you could see the colors had seeped through a little bit. But again, right? They went out and they bought what they could afford. That was in the best condition that they could possibly find. Because I mean, that field was only used for like a season or two at the most. But again, if you're going to own a team, do your due diligence. Make sure that you're taking care of your players, right? Again, Brian, BD and I work in construction. We don't send ourselves out with tattered and used and broken safety equipment. Why would you send a player out like that? Right? Why would you put them in hazardous conditions?
And more importantly, we're both in management. Like, I would never send my guys out with, hard hats that are busted, high vis vests that are ripped or dirty or whatever. Like, we want to take care of these of our people, and same way these teams should want to take care of their people.
I'm just saying.
A couple of them, they piss you off one day.
Yep. So, but anyways, so yeah, that absolute craziness going on this weekend. The one thing I still can't figure out, and Bobby, I'm leaning into you guys and Pro Arena Talk. What happened to the Corpus game? Was that the one that they canceled because of the dicey field conditions, or are we talking in that chat? Was that from a previous game or something? According to the website, they were supposed to play the Venom this last weekend. If I read the website correctly, it's kind of confusing. But I just can't tell. 100%, Bobby, you are right. It is crazy how some teams have everything, other teams have nothing. And especially if it's, an organization that's, like the team owner is responsible for stuff. But there's always a league to kind of fall back on to help out. Like if you're in a pinch or if you need some help or whatever, like why are some teams suffering more than others? That's absolutely insane.
So looking at Corpus News, I just did. Oh, I'm sorry. It was the Amarillo News. They did play, and Corpus Christi won that game 48-34.
Oh, okay. So the Venom actually put up a little bit more of a fight this time.
Yeah.
I mean, considering the first game that they played, it was a 2-0 forfeit, right?
No, that was Mississippi.
Oh, no, it was 50-76. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry. Yeah. But a little bit closer of a game this time. And but Corpus, hammers on. Bobby, you're right. That's again, I'm very confused.
That's the CIF. Not, you know what I did? I just did it what you always did.
Gotcha.
AIF. Yep. I pulled a J. That's just the AI not updating their website. So
yeah.
But we already know they don't like to put game stats in their websites.
Yeah, absolutely no game stats. But I would have loved to have seen that game because it looks like it was, it sounds like it was a heck of a lot closer than what they've done. And not saying that Amarillo is turning things around necessarily, or has turned things around, but they're definitely turning things around if they can take a 30-point trouncing the first time they play and then get it down to 15 points or so.
I mean, this is the closest that any team has played Corpus this year, so they've been absolutely demolishing everybody else. So
yeah, so at some point in time,
it's nice to see a game that wasn't won by 50 points or whatever.
Yeah, at some point in time, they're going to have to cross against Columbus and just Columbus. But I think that game is towards the very end of the season.
Looks like they played the last game of the season.
Okay. So
if they play any time before that, it does not look like it. So,
the
last game of the season will be against Columbus and Corpus.
Yeah, and then we'll go into the playoffs. So
they'll probably both be undefeated at that point.
Yeah. So there may be they may play each other in like a semifinal game and then the finals again. Who knows? We'll have to see. But yeah, man. So Corpus is absolutely crushing it. Speaking of crushing things, we do have to do a little bit of promo work here. This is for Fuel Network stuff. So hang on real quick. We're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be back into
things we've never said before.
Things we've never said before. We'll be back in about minute 30.
Houston, we triumphed. I've made it back to Earth with the cargo intact. The game-changing, time-sensitive payload is none other than the revolutionary energy flavor we've all been waiting for. Introducing Merc Mayhem Cherry Limeade. Merc Clan played a crucial role in securing this energy flavor, and together we've unlocked the future of power. Merc Mayhem is not just a drink, it's a statement. A fusion of relentless energy and bold flavor. The secret is out. Merc Mayhem is set to redefine the energy landscape, leaving ordinary drinks in its cosmic dust.
Baby.
Get ready for a taste explosion that matches Merc Clan's unparalleled power. Join the revolution, and let's unleash Merc Mayhem upon the world. Astronaut M signing off.
Same great taste. Yes. Same great taste. Same great taste.
And we're back. Yes. Sorry. BD and I beat each other to it. So yeah, just some promo stuff, right? Some great energy drinks, some jerky stuff. And these are just sponsors of the league. I'm sorry, not sponsors of the league, sponsors of the Fuel Network, and they've asked that we give them some shameless plugs. So if you need some, energy drink or you need some beef jerky, go hit those companies up, man. They look like they're pretty solid. Hopefully one of these days we'll be able to get to try it and see what it's all about too. But in the meantime, okay, back on track. We talked about gunslingers. Brian, I got to say, man, I'm really looking forward to watching that game. I'm hopeful that I will be able to see it when I'm on the plane flying over to DC.
Where are you? Well, when are you flying in?
I jet about noon on Saturday.
Okay.
So chances are I should be able to catch at least part of that game. Hopefully, maybe.
The game's at 6 Central, so you should be able to make it.
Yeah, but
if you leave at noon,
should be on the ground by then. I've got a layover that's like 2 hours. So I know, but I couldn't get a FedEx ticket or a UPS ticket for like $20. So, next best thing, I had to actually pay for a ticket. But again, it should be an incredible matchup. What I am worried about is who's getting out on the scoreboard first, because I think that is going to make a big difference in this game as to who kind of controls the pace.
You're right, and I mean, we've seen that with the gunslingers in other games. inability to stop people. Like I said, they didn't get a real stop until the last two possessions of the game. It was the what was that? The first game they played against San Diego. Is that who
Yeah,
it was?
I think so.
Yeah, San Diego. The last, what was it? The last full half, and then halfway through the second quarter or whatever, it was just nobody could get a stop. Gunslingers just let them score, and then they would come down and score again. But we've kind of seen that through this season, like the inability to get stops when needed. Now, obviously, arena football, you're going to have a lot more scores and stuff like that, but when it comes down to it, you've got to be able to get 2-3 stops a game if you're going to win. And Gunslingers were lucky to get that this past week. They're going to have to really play well to do that again this weekend.
Yeah. So, and especially, considering the struggles early in the season and everything like that, that defense absolutely has to come out and be ready to dominate, man. They cannot let Frisco get too far ahead because then that's putting way too much pressure on the offense to and it's not like Frisco has a bad defense either, right? So that it's an uphill battle that, it just really shouldn't need to be fought. So
they're going to have to be on their game, bottom line. I mean, both sides. And even, the kicking game, the extra points, there were 2 extra points that got blocked. One of them got returned, or 3 got blocked, 1 got returned. And so that was a 4-point swing for Frisco, just in that wasn't even getting stops, in the main field of play. That was just extra points. So, it's just they're going to have to be a lot sharper in this game because, Frisco's not going to be happy. So they're going to come out. They're going to come out looking for blood. So, Gunslingers got to be on top of it.
Yep. Speaking on top of things, I think West Texas's legal department should have been a little bit more on top of things, especially with the NAL. And the NAL definitely should have been on top of their game because now apparently we're talking about West Texas Warbirds, who were West Texas. What the heck did they used to be?
No, they were the West Texas Warbirds. Now they're the Desert Hawks.
Yeah, that's right. So they were the Warbirds. Now they're the Desert Hawks. Yeah. They turned in their notice that they're leaving the NAL back in August of 23, right? That they were going to be joining the the AFL, and we're going to be moving on, right?
Yeah, they were one of like the first, when the AFL first made their big announcement, they were coming back. They were one of the teams that were mentioned.
Yes. And West Texas actually played this weekend, by the way, and they did very, very well.
They won 51-28.
Yep.
Over Georgia Force.
Good luck trying to find stats because I could not find stats on that one either. It drives me crazy, man.
Maybe the same people that run the AIF site run the AFL.
Right. Apparently they run their legal department too. So here's the deal. They let the NAL know that they were leaving. It was going to be a breach of contract, but it sounds like they had worked all of that information out, or were waiting to hear something back from the NAL about, what they were going to do. And from what I can tell, the NAL waited until like this last week to tell them, hey, by the way, guys, we didn't actually say you could go.
Yeah.
So now there's some legal troubles for them.
And I mean, total pettiness by the NAL trying to, wait and hold on to it until the week before the first game. But I'm here for it. I think it's hilarious. So
yeah, it's funny stuff. And Bobby's right. It's probably going to wind up being a small fee, which, may or may not be a big deal. I'm going to need to see that definitely. But again, it's probably going to be a small fee for, an arena team and maybe a little bit, heftier of a fine than, what it would be for like, a UFL team or, an NFL team. Right. But the fine, I'm sure, is going to be comparable to, the level of income and all those other things. So it's not going to be, super cheap to just be like, you know. Oh, this one's a good one. Yeah. Bobby, you're right. Because all the teams left, so they didn't have any money. They didn't have any revenue.
Yeah.
So they couldn't sue. But yeah, so West Texas is probably going to have to pay some money and be like, okay, look, here you go. Go away, Bob.
Pay him to go away,
Right. And I'm hopeful that, this move to the AFL is productive for West Texas. We enjoyed watching them when they were in the NAL and the Gunslingers were in the NAL. There were some epic games that we played there.
Really, I mean, I hope it's productive for, there's a lot of hiccups this first week. We already talked about them, but we've said it before, dude. We love the old AFL.
Yeah.
Nothing would make me happier than for it to get back to its glory days of what it was. And so, it sucks kind of seeing all this stuff, all the stuff with the teams and them not being prepared and everything that I hope they all kind of get it together and eventually become that great arena league that we saw for years and years and years. So, well, Jason's got dad duty. That's all right. That's all right. Well, let me see what else we were talking about. I hate when he puts me on the spot like that. He's probably not even doing. He's probably doing it on purpose. So, yeah, Bobby, like we said, we see what's happening. I think we all want this league to succeed. But yeah, like you said, we see what's going on. We've seen these hints, for a long time now of teams not being prepared, teams not knowing where they're going to play, all this stuff. It's stuff we've been seeing. So, it's off to a very, very, very rocky start, to say the least. But
yeah,
we don't want it to fail. But
yeah, this is an especially bad team or an especially bad look for a league that's trying to bank on, the history and nostalgia of what was the AFL and arguably the AFL too. AFL was extremely successful to the point where they even spawned, a second tier for developing players to get into the AFL. And
which is where we had our the Talons.
Yeah.
So,
which we got from Tulsa, but I think they played here longer than they played in Tulsa, and they certainly had a better connection here. But yeah, it's just a bad look when you've got people that, okay, you're going to be in New Orleans. No way, you're going to be over in Lake Charles. Oh no, you know what? We're going to put you in Shreveport, right? Oh, but Shreveport's not ready. So fans, we need you to hold on to the barricades and make sure that the players don't get crushed. But it's okay if they slam into your arm because nothing's going to happen or anything, right?
I mean, a break will heal,
Yeah. Oh, but wait a minute. We're going to send a team that isn't actually even owned by anybody. And because they're not owned by anybody, nobody's going to pay their hotel bill and they're all going to get kicked out. And, oh man, we're going to have to scramble and find, substitutes for it and everything. And they would have been better off probably getting a local high school team to play them, honestly. Because at least the high school team would have played together and kind of known each other's moves and things like that. So yeah, it's a rough start for the AFL. We are hopeful, like BD said, that those growing pains are few and far between. But this is not a good start across the board. So I would expect to see, more interesting news in the next few days before it actually settles down. So don't be surprised if you see some more stuff where, oh, the AFL did this and the AFL did that. And, they've got some things they need to figure out and tighten up. But in the meantime, okay, preview for this next weekend. Obviously, San Antonio's going to DC. We are going to step on Snake. Where's my cup? Right here, folks. Step on Snake, right?
Step on Snake.
We're taking it to DC. Look, I mean, have them watch. right? So you can see little tears come down his face as we beat him on Sunday. But keys to victory there. We have to have a very strong defense. We have to have a different defense than what we've had the past couple of weeks, and we have to convert on turnovers. We've got to get the turnovers, and we've got to convert on turnovers.
Yep, absolutely.
Plain and simple.
Absolutely.
San Antonio versus Frisco here in San Antonio. That's going to be a little different crowd, and I must say, the amount of energy that I saw from Frisco fans. It seemed like it was not a very energetic game. It looked very, very sparse in there. It didn't seem like there were a lot of people. So I'm hopeful that San Antonio can come back home against a very, very strong team and have that home field advantage. So folks, if you're here in town, because I'm sure there aren't going to be a whole lot of people traveling to DC to watch the Brahmas play. If you're here in town, go to the game. Tickets are like $10. You know, you can get popcorn and a drink for like another 10. Yeah. And you know they're pretty much great seats throughout the whole Freeman Coliseum,
everywhere, and you know it's a lot of fun to go to.
Yeah.
You know, going back to kind of early UFL stuff, you kind of refresh my memory. Talking about like sparsely attended and all that stuff. You saw the attendance numbers for the Renegades game.
Yeah, let's talk about that 10,000 that wasn't there.
There's no way they were taking. If you see me on Facebook, I've made this comment a few times on every post I've seen. The only way that they have had 10,000 people is if they counted the people that were walking out of the Rangers game that walked past the stadium. That's the only way they get close to 10,000 people.
Now, in all fairness, O'Brien, what were you saying to try and help sell tickets at the Arlington game?
What? I was inviting those people to come in and watch the game. I said, if you want to watch another Dallas team lose, you can go to Cockrell Stadium right here and watch the Renegades play.
Yeah, that's always very encouraging, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I was, hey, there's another game. You don't have to be sad. You can come watch the football game and be more sad.
That's so horrible, man. Even I'm not that bad. That's pretty impressive. So we're gonna be wrapping it up here real quick. Just trying to think of if we missed anything. Again, we definitely want to thank our friends in Arlington, Marco, Val.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talk crap, but I mean, we love the Banditos. So.
Yeah, Yogi. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for your hospitality, everybody. Right,
absolutely.
For my buddy out there. Okay. We could not have met a better fan base, even though there were some that didn't like us, that didn't like the energy that we brought. And I get it, right? Their team was 0-4 and they were losing the game. And so a lot of fans left in the fourth quarter. And
we told them bye, we were waving bye to them, and they told us we were number one in the real special way.
And see, again, so for the first time in this season, right, I did not have my back to the field. I was actually watching the game.
You liar.
No, I was talking. He was in front of us.
No, you found more people behind us to talk to.
That's true. That's true.
I was like, hey, the Banditos are sitting right in front of us, so you're going to be looking at them the whole game. But no, you still found someone behind us to talk to, and you still turned around every single play.
Hey, don't even post that comment. Don't. That person's wrong, biased, 100%. Anyways. What? Hang on.
That one?
Mentirosa. Okay, hang on real quick. I have to sign us out of our live setup. Well, you know what? We can go a couple of minutes over. They'll get over it. It's our first show. But you're right. I did find some people. But we did also find those kids that were on the field that were welcoming the team onto the field and then came up and started roasting the Banditos.
That was fantastic. And right? That was middle of the third quarter, kind of into the fourth, I think. Yeah. And we were all getting kind of tired, getting kind of worn down. Our kind of jeering and cheering and all that was kind of going on down his slide. And those kids came in And I mean, I don't know about you, but they kind of, breathed a new breath of energy to me. I'm like, all right, I'm back. Let's do this.
Oh yeah, 100%, man.
Let's talk trash again. I'm ready.
Yeah. Especially that one blonde kid that started the 0-5 chant. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's my kindred spirit, man. I'm good. Yeah. Let's go. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. So again, thank you guys so much for your hospitality. Thank you for not murdering us. And we get your frustration. We know your pain. Oh, hey, what's up? 210 Brahmasita in the house. All an hour after we started. But thanks for showing up and supporting.
All right,
us.
you can see us. Come on, see us. Say bye.
Yeah. Anyways, lots going on this weekend, right? We've got a very, very important and very, very dangerous game in DC that we absolutely have to win. We have the San Antonio Gunslingers game that again I'm hoping to catch. Hey, what's up? It's our
XFL Mike G.
It's our guy, man. Right?
Well, you missed it. We were talking about how you got to experience a football game with us the first time. But hey, you still got to come sit with us in 134. Like that was just a partial experience. You got to get the full 134 experience.
Yes. Oh yeah. Hang on. So this is important. We need to talk about this. Houston tickets for the group will end this Friday. You go to the Horns Forward podcast page, and there's a poll going on as to how you guys want to do it. If we want to,
who wants to get tickets to the game? So yeah, go vote on that. If you select tickets to the game, Jackie's going to reach out to you. So, but that ends this Friday. 3 days from now, 4 days from now, whatever date it is.
Yep. Jackie put me down for at least 2. So just giving you my notice now, but I think I've already voted. So, but I'm going. I'm going to every single game this season. I'm not missing a single one. I don't care. I'll be dead and I'll still be there.
Speaking of, if you missed Horns Forward podcast last night, we are going to be taking bets as to whether or not Jorge makes it out of DC unscathed. So
what's the over under on that?
I'm gonna. I say we should set the over under at a black eye and then go from there.
Just one black eye?
Well, if you want to take the over, you go right ahead.
I'm okay. I'm going to take the over. I'm going to take the over on that one. So, yes, everybody, make sure you go and vote. Let Jackie know how she can help you. She'll be reaching out once you vote. It's going to be awesome. And Jackie's right? She's here to be a fan and just
go
enjoy.
Vote. If you want tickets, go vote. Go say it, and we'll reach out to you. So
don't make her work on her half hour off. Okay. But I think that's pretty much it, right? Lots of incredible football stuff going on this weekend. Make sure you're tuned in. For any Corpus fans that may be down in actually, are they playing? Where are they playing? Well, just keep your eye out for Corpus. Keep your eye out for West Texas. Frisco's playing San Antonio here. Lots and lots of football. I need to get a Corpus Christi Tritons logo up behind us if we're going to talk about it.
It doesn't look like the Tritons are playing until they've got 2 weeks off. They don't play till the 18th.
Ooh, Jackie got some sass. Cash me an Audi. How about that? Let's go. Right. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I wish I
was going with you guys, man. Y'all definitely. I know y'all hold the fort down, and you guys say hi to our friend Bellamy J.
Oh, you got it, man. I've already got an exclusive meeting with him
in the parking lot.
No, that's our friend in Michigan that we're going to go see when Houston plays them, right? And I'm definitely pulling for Houston that game. I don't even care. But anyways, I think that's pretty much it. So
that's it, guys.
Guys, we appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much. Much love to everybody out there. Pro Arena Talk, Mike G, Jackie, the whole Horns Forward cast. Who else am I forgetting? Arlington, Jersey, the whole new people from Fuel and all that. Love you guys. Appreciate it. Catch us next week. Same time.
So, I know we're not going to see you till Tuesday. So on Saturday, may the 4th be with you all.
And also with you. We're out. See ya.